Business, a person's occupation, profession, or trade. Connection, a relationship in which a person or idea is linked or associated with something else. Welcome to Business Connection. Each week, our program will offer inspiration to navigate the business world. Information you can use to succeed in any field. And we will help you focus on your goals. Join us now for Business Connection with your host, B.C. Clark.
Well, good morning. This is B.C. Clark. I am the producer of The Business Connection. And today I just want to take a few moments and talk with you about some of the things that I've seen lately happen with some of our small businesses. I've had several in here. As you know, this show, we interview businesses across the state. And today, I thought it was a good opportunity to kind of share some things that are going on that you may not know about. First of all, there is a 2-day business plan class that's coming up on the 5th and 6th of October. Would love to have you enter that. So you can go to www.nebbiz.org to register for that. That's www.nebbiz.org. Also coming up is our annual, 8th annual, I think it is, From Startup to Success. Now that's a conference, it's all day, starts at 8:30 for registration, goes from about 9 to 3, where you'll meet 3 different panels of business owners. Panel 1 is from 1 to 6 years, I think it's 1 to 5 years. And then panel 2 is 6 to 15 years, and panel 3 is 16 to 25 years. And they have wonderful information because you have to stop and think. The ones in the panel 1, they're going to be able to tell you some things that they encountered as they got started. Panel 2 will tell you what they did to get past 5 years, which is that we all know that 5 years is supposedly that make or break point. I really think it's about 8 years is the make or break point, but who am I? And then that third panel is going to tell you how they've sustained for over 15 years and are still growing. And so I think there's great wealth and opportunity that can come to you just by hearing some of their stories. They can share with you their struggles, some of their failures and their successes, but also give you some insight on how you can begin to structure your company if you haven't gotten started, or change some of the things that you're doing in your existing business. The other thing I want to talk about too is I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs that come in and they're not quite ready to start a business. And sometimes that's a really hard thing because when you're there as a business advisor and you're speaking with them and they're so gung-ho, they have not written a business plan. They have not done any research on the industry that they want to go into. So I want to take this time to just say that, it's when you want to start a business, there's so many resources here in Nebraska, in Omaha. There's tons of resources. And I would like for you to do is to check out some of the resources, some of the classes that are being offered. I mean, there's all kinds of classes, like, is owning a business a good fit for you? That's a great class, because even if you're in business, I've had people take that class and they'll come out and say, wow, I wish I'd have did this before I started my business. So don't turn down information that you could actually learn and be successful by just having that information. Because remember, success is not just what happened after you got there. It's what you did before you went on the trip. So the journey is long, and sometimes you have to take that time and figure out what you need to do. So I always say plan, and in that planning, do research. Is this business going to be something viable that you can make money at? Is it an opportunity that you believe you might be able to leave a legacy for your family? Know some of those answers before you jump into it. And oftentimes people say, oh, I never did a business plan. And then you have to look and see where their business is. Are they still in business? Are they successful in that business? Are they losing money? So there's so many things that can trip you up. But if you go and get the right information from the right resources, so that you can make informed decisions, oftentimes we find out that you can be more successful. And so don't stop learning. Don't stop thinking that you know it all in the beginning, because most of us don't. That was one of the mistakes that I made. If someone had asked me, and someone did recently ask me, what was the number one thing that you did when you got started? And I would say, thinking I knew everything. Because that's what happens. We know our business technically, but we may not know all the hats that go along with the business. And so a lot of times we need to stop. We need to understand what we need. And you can't know that if you've never started a business before. You can't always have that information if somebody told you, oh yeah, this is all you have to do, and they've never started a business. It's almost like someone who's never had kids telling you how painful it was going to be, and they haven't experienced it. So I like to say, take the opportunity to gather all the information that you can before you get started. And if you're already started, take a break. If you find out you're not getting where you want to go, or your sales are starting to slump, what is it that you need to do? And sometimes it's just something simple, like find out where you're draining your resources. Is it in too much inventory? Have you hired too many people? And a lot of times people don't look at all these things. So what I do a lot of times when I'm working with individuals through my business, I make sure that I kind of do a 360 screening on them to find out, if they're already in business, where some of those places are that they may be leaking and they don't know it. And oftentimes when we go through the 360 screening and they lay out everything, they themselves find out that, wow, this is where I'm having trouble. And so don't think that you don't need to have these type things happening. These usually are free to get a 360 screening. And it just, find out where you are in your business, especially if your sales have started to slump or go down, or if they're flatlined and you're not making any money at all right now. You have product to sell. Are you marketing? Are you communicating out the benefits of your product? Letting people know, are you networking so people understand where you are and what you provide? So a lot of these things, I think sometimes people take for granted, but networking is a powerful tool. I know word of mouth is, but networking, getting out and meeting people, and I encourage my clients to do that before they even get started in their business, because you're going to hear incredible information, you're going to have insights, there'll be things that you'll be able to look at before you jump in and have to start swimming or sinking. And so it would behoove you to really get out and to do that. Now, you don't have to pay a lot of money to go out and network. Sometimes it's just going to some of the chamber breakfasts that they have monthly. Sometimes it's going to an event after hours. Look for those $15, $10, $25 events that you can go to that you'll meet a lot of people. And, when you're networking, there's etiquettes around that. You don't just start, passing out cards if you don't know who you're talking to. First of all, you want to talk to people. You want to make sure that you know who they are. You want to introduce yourself. But that's all you do when you first meet someone. So let's talk a little bit about networking and some of those tools and techniques that you can use that can have people coming behind you. It's not about, I've got 18,000 cards and I'm passing them all out in 1 hour. It's about really developing relationships. That's what networking is really about. And if you take the opportunity and not seem like you're rushing whenever you're talking to someone, you'll find out a lot of information. And then they'll be able to find out about what you're offering and what your business has to what your business provides for those who are out there in that same industry. So take that opportunity, learn about networking. I think that there is I'll tell you 4 things that I know for sure that is some of the techniques that I use when I'm networking. I never sit or spend time with the people that I already know. I may wave at them, hello, but I move on to people that I don't know. I want to make sure that I get to find out a lot of information about them. And I spend time talking with them, not in a rush. I ask them all kinds of questions. And they love that because people love talking about themselves. So I ask a lot of questions. And when I ask a lot of questions, all of a sudden, they feel like, wow, she's really smart. She wants to know all about me. And they love that. And then pretty soon they'll ask, hey, do you have a card? Well, that's okay that I didn't get to speak, but they found out, I found out a lot about them, so I know how I can help them if I have any resources for them, or if I need to refer them to someone else. And so sometimes it's not all getting everything you have to say out, it's listening. I find that you learn tons by sometimes just listening and being in the background. But having a voice when you need to have the voice, that's important too. The other thing is to make sure that you let people know that you really care about what they're doing. And if they have a problem, you want to make sure that you bring up some kind of solutions or refer them to someone else, because that's powerful as well. When you refer someone to someone in need, they both remember you. So don't forget to do that as well. And the other thing I would say to you is when you first go into an event and maybe you don't know anyone there, all you have to do is just go in and just smile, be polite, and they'll start gearing toward you. They want to know who you are because they're there for the same reason that you are. And some people are initiators and some aren't. So a lot of times if you're not an initiator, when you go into an event, others will walk up to you and start talking. And that's a great way to do it. Now, if you're in an event and you see people in groups, they're standing there, and maybe there's someone in that group that you want to meet. What you could do is walk up and you stand, like kind of in between two people, because it's usually a closed circle. And eventually someone would drop her shoulder, turn around to let you in. And at that moment, you're in that group now. And then you can talk about and ask questions. And after you say who you are and what you do, and then you want to know everything about everybody in that group. And oftentimes, being in that group for 2 or 3 minutes, you'll end up with people giving you their card, wanting to know more about you. And don't forget to do follow-up. If you meet someone, don't forget to call them up and say, hey, I'd like to have coffee to find out more about your business. A lot of times it's just things like that that can put you in motion to meet tons of people that can help you in your business, but also that you can help in theirs. So don't be afraid to do that. So networking is definitely a powerful tool. Look for the schedule of workshops that are scheduled, and some of them don't charge, but don't be afraid to spend a little money on yourself, because every penny that you spend when you go to these workshops and things like that, you're investing back into your business. And so with that knowledge, you can do different things. So you don't sell yourself short and say, oh, it's too much, I'm not going to pay $10 for this. Anytime I have an opportunity and it's something I can go to that I can afford, I go. And sometimes when I can't afford it, I go and just save up a little more the next time just to make sure that I'm available to go to those things. The more certifications that you get, the more training that you get, the more opportunity you have for success. And remember, it doesn't matter what you did last year or the year before. If you're going forward, you're looking at what you're going to do the next year. And make sure that as you are filling out your business plan and laying out your plans, that you have at least one big, hairy, audacious goal past the 5 to 10 year that you set, that you're always looking towards. And by doing that, that keeps your business in the forefront. I know a lot of businesses that have a 3-year plan, a 4 or 5 year plan, and in the 4th year, you should have the 6 and the 7-year plan, and oftentimes they don't. After the 5th year, they just kind of leave it there, and then next thing you know, that business is closing or running into really hard times. So planning is so key to keep going. And if you want to be successful throughout your whole time, throughout that time that you are looking at making things happen, you have to continue to educate yourself, to keep improving your business, keep investing in your business, because that speaks to people about whether or not you want to be around for the next generation. And if not, if you want to turn that over to someone in your family, well, you want to leave a good business, a healthy business. There's workshops on that too, how to run a healthy business. And so think about those things as you are going through your entrepreneur journey. Don't jump into something just because someone told you it was easy. Have a why when you open up your business. Why are you starting that business? Because a lot of times if there's not a why, then the what never happens. And so you want to make sure that you are going into something that you plan to put some time into. It doesn't happen overnight that you're successful no matter what you've heard, no matter what you've seen. It takes work. And even if you've seen someone start a business and in 2 years they're flying, that's right, that's great. But you don't know what they did to get there. And so let's not try to jump into someone else's shoes without knowing what's in there. Take the time, if you want to start a business, to do it the right way, to make sure that you're getting the information that you need to be successful, to make sure that you are going in the right direction, that your journey is exactly where you want it to go. And remember that business plan is your path. It's your path to where you're going. So keep it updated, keep it alive, because it is a living document. When you change something in the business, make sure you update your business plan. And always go back to that business plan. Look at your projections for 3 to 5 to 7 to 10 years. Make sure that you're on top of what you plan to do. Set the goals to get to where you want to get to for each of those years. So in year one, if your goal is just to even break even, and sometimes that doesn't happen, then what do you need to do for the second year to make sure that you can break even and begin to make profit? So starting a business is great, it's exciting. A lot of people do it and it's wonderful. But it does take work. It takes time and effort. And if you're not willing to put that in, don't start it. Don't start it. And if it's an industry that you've never been in before, go and work for someone else in that industry to learn as much as you can, so that when you do launch your business, you have some insight on what to do in the beginning. You kind of can lay it out, a business plan based on your working for that industry already. And that's what a lot of people do. Lending. When it comes to lending, and you're starting out a business and you don't have the money, all the seed money that you need, some people I know start GoFundMe and things like that. If you want to go to a lender or have an investor, you want to have a business plan that lets them know what your plans are, how you plan to make money, what things you're providing, what's your background. They want to know all of that, okay? The other thing is that you want to make sure that you check in your credit. Make sure your credit is ready. There are credit building programs like Building Credit as an Asset that will help you get started. And oftentimes those are, there's a training for that, giving you insights on how to make sure that you clean up your credit, but also how to build your credit so that it's an asset for you. And I know for a fact that there's an organization, the Nebraska Enterprise Fund, that has a credit builder loan program. So you go through their training, takes a couple, and then you have credit counseling each month for 12 months. But that loan that you get can start your journey to building your credit as an asset. It's an installment loan. I think it's about $1,000. And if you don't know about it, check with Nebraska Enterprise Fund. You can go to their website, www.nebbiz.org, and that's nebbiz.org. The phone number there is 402-685-5500. There's wonderful workshops and classes. Nebraska Business Development Center also offer resources for you as well, helping you with your projections and things like that. The SBA have an individual there that works with the 8A and the certification programs. You want to call them, the SBA administration here in Omaha. You also want to make sure that you're checking with PTAC. PTAC is the organization that gives you opportunity, helps you sign up to do business with the government. I mean, how many of you would love to have contracts if you're a construction worker, if you're a baker? The government looks for everything. So don't be afraid to make sure you go in, get the certifications you need. The city of Omaha offers Tier 1 and Tier 2. They also offer some other things. So Christian Espinoza is the person you want to look for at the city of Omaha. And I think he's in race relations or something like that. But I don't know his number offhand, but you can just look for the city. And I think it's Rights and Relations or something like that. And he'll be able to tell you about the Tier 1 and Tier 2 program. There are so many resources here, so I don't want you to miss out. I do want you to start a business because the small businesses are the backbone of Nebraska's businesses. I mean, they hire the most people. And not only that, but if you buy local, you're helping the whole community. And there's lots things that are going on in this city right now. So don't miss out. Start that business, get involved, and change your community, change where you are. You know, change your family. All of that happens when you decide to start a business or to go in and help someone else who is in business. So just remember that you have lots of resources and opportunity here in Omaha to do those things. Starting a business, working, volunteering. There's lots of volunteer opportunities here as well. But there's a lot of money in this state, and if you want to start a business and grow that business, there's resources here for you to do that. So I am BC Clark. I'm your host of the Business Connection. We air every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. I'm always looking for new businesses to come in and to interview. So if you have any opportunities and you want to take that leap and come in and have a sit-down interview with me, it's just like this studio you see right here. We'll sit and we'll talk. I won't throw questions at you, but we'll just talk. It's a conversational interview, but I get to find out all about your business and what you plan to do and what you've done. If you feel that you want to fill those shoes, I would love to have you come in anytime. So just give me a call. My name is BC Clark. My phone number is 402-763-0540. I'm at KPAO Studios. And again, I record on Thursdays. And I would love to have you come in and do a conversational interview talking about your business. The website you would go to is The Business Connection, NE for Nebraska.com. And you can register to have an interview with me here at KPAO. So it's been great sharing these minutes of mastery with you. Again, I'm BC Clark with The Business Connection. I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great day.